furniture pieces, the chairs, the tables, and good lighting, of course, but just really interesting shapes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, like, for me, the perfect event starts with a great venue. And Eileen, Emma's more modern, whites, sleek, with some pops of color. I'm a little more eclectic, I think, and I love the barnwood tables.
Yes.
Not necessarily the really weathered ones, but just lots of wood and lots of wood grain. I love wood chargers.
I saw some amazing chargers today. I think that, where we're going, where we kind of went away from, I feel like we went away a little bit from chargers for a while because people sort of were like, oh, that looks too excessive. But I think we're moving back slowly into an economy, and you guys can let me know what you think about this, but where people are getting, you know what, it's okay to celebrate what we have and to show off a little bit when we're doing a beautiful event like a wedding or something. And there's I saw so many great options here today that I was really excited about.
I agree 100%, and I think that one of the key things you need to remember when planning any event is the purpose of it, and you want your guests to have a great experience. And that comes in little details that make them feel special. And so simple things like embellishing the place setting that they're at so that they feel like this was done just for me. I'm intended to be here. I feel welcome, and just making it special and memorable. And I think the charger is a great way to do that. Just embellish the place setting.
Yeah, and I think you're right with the chargers. They are coming back, and they're a great way to add some color. For a corporate event, even branded, there's some great bright colors out there. Yeah. One of the things we saw today after seeing all the charges, we hope to order a budget line of chargers. They're going to be fairly inexpensive to rent, but we're going to have them in 24, 25 different colors, so that it doesn't matter if it's your daughter's 6th birthday party or a wedding where you want that pop of color, or a corporate event where you want to brand it. Yeah. We have the selection for you. So.
Well, and I think one of the things too, and I think we'll finish on this, I think, but is how you can use those design and decor elements to elevate a brand, but without just splashing your logo everywhere. And I think there's been a couple of sessions on that as well here today, but I would say that we're seeing that as a trend as well. People want to have understated, effective branding in their events. So
that's right. I think we're past the days of the logos being, 30 feet high on the wall, but moving, hopefully, but moving into, incorporating part of that brand, and not just the brand, but I guess the values, the morals, the characters of the company.
Embedding the culture through the event with appropriate design and decor elements.
And entertainment and whatever else.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Emma and Lars, thank you guys so much.
Thank
you. As Canadians, we do love design and decor, and are excited to share it, and we're just so happy to have shared it here at this special event together.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Tahira Endine, roving reporter, signing off. Tahira Endine, roving reporter for Meeting Podcast. I'm here with Brian Bell from Decor & More. We are, almost at the special event Chicago 2013, where Decor & More is nominated for 4 awards this year. That's really exciting. You must be really happy to be here.
We're thrilled to be here, and I think in our history we've been nominated for 2 gala awards ever. We've never won an award, so to be up for 4 is pretty incredible. We had an opportunity to work with some amazing clients on some awesome projects, so we're really thrilled that we're up for 4 awards.
It is exciting. So now Decor & More has been around for how long?
We've been in business for 21 years, based out of Oakville, and we cut our teeth in the Toronto market. It actually started as a business that Leslie Bell, the founder, and my mom started out of her basement, and we've now grown to the fact that we're a 35,000 square foot operation. We have over 30 employees, and we produce 400 to 500 events a year.
Wow. So I have had the pleasure of working with Decor & More on some of those 400 or 500 events a year. And it's always been a phenomenal experience. I just think from a creative perspective, a design perspective, really working with the clients, understanding what they want. You guys are really, I would consider, absolutely one of the leaders in Canada. So what are some of the things that you've done that you think have perhaps led to that place that you're at that is
In terms of how we've
and
sort
how
of built
you approached
up
your
that.
business, yeah.
You know what? I think we've learned a lot along the way. We've made mistakes and we've grown from those. One of the things that for us sort of forced our hand is we got given the ability to do an amazing project out of town where it was soft seating for, I think it was 5,000 people.
Wow.
And we tried to work with our competitors and our event partners in our market to fill that gap. And we always enjoy doing that and love doing that, working with people as opposed to competing, but having a friendly competition. And we couldn't fill that, so we decided that we had to build a lot of these things on our own, and that's how we started to get into lounge furnishings, which has grown, and it's a huge part of what we do. But it also taught us that anything's achievable, because it was a window of about 3 weeks that we had to come up with all of this. So we actually shut down a furniture company. We just put in an order with them and worked together, and we're able to fill that, and we're able to work with this amazing client as well to help that come to life. So.
That is incredible. Now, why did they choose to do soft seating for that size of a group? I mean, it's just what was the objective of the event that led them to that place?
I think the event producer, the event designer, wanted to really have something totally new and totally out of the box for that market. This was about 9 years ago now, 8 or 9 years ago, and so really on the cusp, on the front edge
really
of doing those kind of events. So, and he's always been on that leading edge, and showing something to people who maybe had seen the typical seated function over and over again, and bringing that to the table was something he was passionate about. So. Yeah,
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I've been in your warehouse, so it's a very organized warehouse, which I appreciate. So one of the, when we talk about sort of the trends of the future,
Yep.
and as you start to see, obviously you have now a lot of lounge furniture, and that is something that we're seeing at more and more events for obvious reasons. What do you see is going to be coming up for you guys in the next, 6 months to a year, and as your client requests continue to grow?
Well, I think the Pantone industry released their color of the year. It's emerald.
I know, it's beautiful.
Which is great. And we have some foundation pieces that are emerald. And for us, it's going to be building on those foundation pieces into this year and next. As well, we're doing something now which we call them Atlas lounges, or Pluto lounges rather. And it's a lot of functional pieces that almost go together like Lego. So rather than having your typical standard bench couch or a chair or things like that, they're almost building blocks, and they can have suit fabric as the texture, or it can be a damask pattern, or it can be polka dots. And rather than it having to sort of have that homogeneous look, we can combine them together and to make some interesting combinations. So putting some of those new looks together, I think, is where we're going as well.
Well, I think we're seeing that as well in home decor, which is obviously one of the things when our clients come to us, what they're looking at is home decor and style magazines. And so when we can start to create something in our events that takes those and pushes those a little bit, but builds on those foundation blocks, that makes so people are comfortable when they come into the event, but still also a little bit surprised.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's where the fun for us comes into designing the events.
Yeah.
So what would you say is going to be what has been your favorite thing that you've seen that you've been like, that's something that I need to do when you've been at the show this week?
Okay, so there was a couple things I saw this morning, which I was briefly telling you about. It was a thing called the Gantry bike. Out of a company out of Las Vegas called Cirque Mechanic, and essentially it's a Cirque Act that is portable. It's on I want to say it's probably a 20-foot truss horseshoe structure, and it can move around the event, being pedaled by 2 people on recumbent steampunk bikes. Phenomenal.
So cool.
You really have to see it to sort of get the visual of what it was doing. And everybody in the audience, who a lot of them are veterans to the industry, have seen everything. There was an audible gasp in the room. Like, people were just blown away by this thing. So that was really cool. I think as well, there's some neat lighting products here that we've looked at and said, a lot of battery powered stuff. But one of the things we saw was the water walls that are battery powered and portable. So you can actually have it rotating throughout the event. It can be an entrance piece, and then rather than just being an entrance piece and not seeing it for the rest of the night, bring it inside the room at that point. And make a show of it, or having some of these experiential elements, having part of your live decor be a couple pieces moving around and putting a different spin on the event, I think works really well too.
Yeah, I love the idea when we're doing events of creating what I call sort of a kaleidoscope in events, where everywhere that you look, everything is beautiful, but everything's a little bit different. Right. So it's not just, we're no longer in homogenous rooms, and we're not even looking for that, I don't think, anymore. So, and I think that blending of the decor and the entertainment, and and it's harder and harder and harder, as you said, because especially now, the internet is of course our worst enemy and our best friend all at the same time.
Absolutely.
But because people will they can see anything, so it's difficult to come up with something that they haven't seen.
It's true,
or to repurpose it in a unique and a different way. Now, I do have one other question that I'm just wondering, which we haven't talked about, but just around sustainability. And are you guys seeing a trend towards more sustainability in your events and being able to speak to that market?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's been a big one for us because we have a limited amount of space in our physical warehouse, and we've always tried to reuse, repurpose, because it makes financial sense for us as well, and that's really one of the big drivers for us. If we can put a new skin on something as opposed to having to toss it out, then that's something we've always tried to champion. But I think, personally, I think some of there's a cost still associated with some of the products that we're doing that are green based, and I think you really have to find the right clients who that's a passion for them. Because the financial cost can sometimes be a bit of a burden that's associated with that. But for us, it's always come naturally to us because of those things that will help us.
Practical realities, which I think is,
absolutely.
If we look at sustainability from a people, planet, profit, we do need to take all of those things into consideration. And I think that, for us, what we always try to do, looking to our partners, rather than saying we need to have something new, let's say how can we take what we have and use it in different ways for exactly that reason, and create something that's...
and one of the things, specific pieces that we've worked on for a while, rather than having your Coroplast signs, your Gator foam, all that kind of stuff, because that just ends up in a garbage.
Doesn't make any sense to me at all.
So what we've done is a water wall or a mirror, and it's cling vinyl, and the footprint that leaves is
about
a fraction.
Minuscule to
right. So that's one of those things that we've been doing for a while now. And we
I haven't done a mirror. I like that a lot.
Mirrors are great.
That's a great idea.
And Leslie,
I'm stealing it, by the way.
That's no problem. Leslie actually was talking at the show on Tuesday. And one of the things that she was mentioning as well with the mirrors is your guests, when they see themselves in a mirror, can relate to the message that's on that mirror as well. They see themselves in the mirror and read the message as well. So, a lot of positive messages can be.
I was going to say, I want to do a mirrored event that says, "I'm great."
Yeah, and I think especially charitable events, where it's either the message is highlighting the charity, or even as much as on auction tables saying give generously and things like that.
Yes, that's a really interesting thing, because when we look at one of the things that we've been seeing a lot, I was just at PCMA, and a lot of the things that we're talking about now are the neuroscience of meetings.
Right.
And so the opportunity to take those little mental cues such as that and build those into your events.
Absolutely.
It really is going to be critical to the success. It's we're sort of jokingly saying everybody comes with a brain, and so I think that when we can use the decor and scent and lighting and then small cues like the mirrors with messages, I think that's just a really phenomenal way to just up the ante a little bit, and people leave the experience feeling just a little bit more special, which is what you want after an event.
Absolutely.
So I think that, Brian, thank you so much. This has been really interesting talking to you.
Thank you.
I'm so glad I sat beside you on the bus.
Absolutely,
And do you have any last things you'd like to leave our audience with?
No, just that, if you haven't come to TSC, it's a pretty amazing experience. I hadn't been in 5 years. And certainly there's some products I've seen, some things I've learned about the industry, some great speakers. And I'm really excited about being nominated for 4 awards. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, good luck tomorrow. I think that's going to be amazing. So Brian Bell, Decor and More. This is Tahira Endine, roving reporter, signing off. Thank you.
Thanks.